Hi, I'm Sandi Lee.
And Dr. Mike, welcome.
We're back again, and this time we're going to talk about how the hCG diet protocol heals the metabolism. Let's get started. How does that work?
Well, it's very complex, but before we go any further at all, I just want you all to know that Sandi painted this picture. That's an original Sandi Steele. And almost all the art in our house is original Sandi Steele. So I think what we'll do in some of our next videos is just hang some of the other ones up there so you get a chance to see them.
And if you're wondering who Sandi Steele is, that was me before I became Sandi Lee.
That's back, yeah, exactly.
So, but I don't do so much painting anymore. Right now I'm helping people lose weight, and that's just been incredibly rewarding.
Right.
So let's talk a little bit about how this diet does heal a metabolism.
Right. Now you remember, perhaps you don't remember, but in one of our previous talks, we talked about the hypothalamus and how the diet healed that by letting it rest. It's not the same thing with the metabolism. We all, if we're born after 1955, we have all got metabolisms that are sluggish. And if we were born before 1955, like me and 3 or 4 other people, our metabolism is even in worse shape.
And if you've been dieting a lot.
That's right.
We also know that every time you do a low-calorie diet, your metabolism slows down to offset lower calories, which is another reason people say, 500-calorie diet, well, that's got to be terrible. My metabolism is just going to be shot by the time I get out of that diet.
That's right. That's right. What happens with the metabolism is this. Our metabolism, metaboli, are really sluggish right now. They're screwed up because of our diet, because of the food we have no choice but to eat this food. Our bodies are Ferraris, and it's like feeding them diesel fuel right now. It'll go for a half a block, and then it gets all sludged down, and then eventually quits. And basically that's what's happening. And because I'm talking about the food chain, because of the toxins, the heavy metals, the mercury, the lead, the cyanide that we're all ingesting every day and inhaling every day. And our food chain that we buy from the grocery store that have been injected with antibiotics and with steroids and
preservatives, which I think help.
Well, that's right. At our age, we need all the preservatives we can get. Anyway, it's slowing down our metabolism. It's actually gumming up our metabolism. What happens with this diet is that we get to cleanse down to a cellular level. The body can only handle so much toxin at any one time, and we're getting more toxin every day in our lives than our bodies can handle. The liver is a fabulous organ, takes care of that, the kidney as well. But it can be overwhelmed, and it gets overwhelmed every day. So it has to store these ingested or inhaled toxins. So where does it store them? It insulates them from the rest of our body, the core of our body, in fat cells. That's where it stores them. And with our diet, with the hCG protocol, you dissolve so many fat cells so fast. Remember, guys lose a pound a day. Girls lose half a pound a day.
And women half to 3/4 of a pound a day.
Right. Yeah. So that's a lot of fat cells. And it's releasing these toxins back into the system where now they can be dealt with.
Now you think you feel crummy, but you don't actually, do you?
You don't. No. Some people get a rash, some people get a headache, some people get a few transient, non-specific and irrelevant side effects early on.
But it's very rare.
That's right. And it'll last 2 or 3 days. But and that's likely because of this release of the toxins. But now the toxins are being released at a rate that the body can handle them, and it burns them off. So we've got, at the end of the day, we have a brand new, squeaky clean, tuned up metabolism.
And another really great thing about the diet is that we're actually cutting out a couple of big food groups, the grains and dairy. And those are 2 food groups that really cause people a lot of problems. Those are 2 things that are in our diet that really haven't been in the human diet for very long. Actually, grains have only been around for about 10,000 years. And we're probably the only species that drinks milk after normal weaning.
We are the only species on the planet that drinks milk after we've been weaned.
Yeah, we're eating cow's milk, which is fed to calves to make a 200 or 300 pound animal. So,
but it's a different species. It's not human food.
So when you cut those things out of your diet as well, then your body actually has a chance to do some more healing that we probably aren't even aware of. When people start adding those foods back into the diet after they've into their diet after they've finished the hCG diet, they might start to notice a few things. Like one of the things that we noticed is that when we bring grains back into our diet, that our joints are a little stiffer.
I love bread,
We're stiffer in the morning.
You know, it's not worth it.
Yeah, the pasta and bread, we tend to watch that now because it's not so much because we don't like to eat it or anything. It tastes delicious and it smells great, but we just don't feel as good. But that's really an individual thing, and people can figure that out for themselves.
Yeah, they can. But the fact is that simple carbohydrates have been introduced to our diet by manufacturers, not by Mom Nature.
And there's a lot of fructose in our diet too, and we're going to talk about that.
Oh, we got a lot to say about that.
That's going to be a big one, so we don't want to hit on that today. But one thing really is that by the time you finish the diet, your metabolism is going to be much better. And what we've noticed is a lot of people have found that their appetite has gone back to what it was before when they were, you know, more young, when they were younger, right, more stable. And they aren't running around eating all the time and wondering where their next meal is coming from.
Well, the cravings aren't the same as they were before.
The cravings aren't the same as they were before. So thanks for watching and checking in, and we'll be addressing more questions. And feel free to write to Dr. Mike at sureresults.net or post a comment on our Facebook fan page, and we will try to answer them as best as we can. So take care.
Bye-bye. Thanks for coming by.